Today in the shop, we took advantage of an unexpected break in the weather. It actually got up over freezing around lunchtime. We were able to get our parts prepped and ready and get a final coat of primer on. But before anything happened, this is what had to happen, is a really messy job of cleaning up the paint area. But anyway, the day turned out great, and as it warmed up over freezing, I was really happy to get outside, get the table prepped up, get everything ready, tack rag down and prep all apart. I wanted to get the final coat of primer on it, put it aside for an hour, and get the base coat around the wheel stripe. This is where we're going to tape off the 1/8" wheel stripe, hopefully in the next few days. It started out being a day that I was expecting not to get a lot done. I wound up getting a lot done, more than I even thought, and it was a day of frozen in time. Well, today we have a little bit of an opportunity. I don't know if we're going to be able to take advantage of it or not, because we have an awful lot of things to do chore-wise. Number one, taking care of the pond. Number two, hoping it doesn't snow anymore. They are predicting more snow, but what's supposed to happen today is by lunchtime it's supposed to be above freezing. So what I thought I'd do, I get out by the painting table, which has about 2 feet of snow on it, try to get it clear out a little area, just in case it goes above freezing. I'd be able to get some work done on that wheel, get some primer, maybe get the red stripe painted. I don't know. Every day is just a totally different adventure than the day before here, and that's the way I like it. Having that snowblower suck up that mat, that was quite an adventure. And I see there's still a lot of snow over in that part of the garage. What can I say? That's part of the adventure of motorcycling. I don't know if you have the same adventure, but I seem to have these things happen on a regular basis. But we got to get started today, and it looks like it might even be the sun coming out today. We haven't seen the sun in a couple of days. Yesterday I put at the end of the video some of the really cold weather riding we used to do years ago, and I don't think we're going to be doing it this year. I don't see that this snow is going to be melted and off the table for quite a while, so we're going to try to hunker down and get that painting table usable again. And if you can't paint because of the weather, or because not having a painting table, or whatever. Anyway, Karen gave me a big tip yesterday. We were matching up the Suzuki paint, and I kept going in and out till I thought it was perfect. She didn't want to come out to the garage, and she was the smarter one in our couple, but I think we got a real good match on that. So if we do get the paint today, we can paint the base of that stripe. You may be wondering what's underneath there. Well, Karen's car is underneath there. I think I got a lot of shoveling to do today. Look at this. Unbelievable. Boy, we had an adventure. That snow blower, I just want to do a walk around on the yard here. And this is what I have to do 3-4 more times a day, is keep that hole in the ice open, or I lose all my fish. So there's the picnic table, and there's what I have to do, is go over to that area of the yard, dig out that table, and make an area that I can paint. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, because we still have more snow coming. I love those church bells in the morning. Oh boy, I'm just doing a pan around here looking at what a mess this is. I got a lot of work to do today. This was quite an adventure. This is in fast forward, of course, and you may be wondering, just how much fun is it to live in northern New Jersey? Well, anytime I do a job like this, I think of the movie Frozen in Time that's on YouTube, and what those poor guys went through to dig out the B-29. Oh my God, frozen in time. Now, I need to use this paint table. This is an important part of my life. Without this paint table, I'm frozen in time. I don't know what's all going on here. And it can't be slippery out in front there either. So, it's a labor of love. So that should allow us to paint. I didn't want to have any slippery spots, icy, when I'm out here. I've got to put that wheel up there. Now what I'll probably do is take a towel and just wipe that table down. Now luckily for us, a couple of things are in our favor. There's no wind blowing, and usually what happens at some point in time, if the wind is blowing, it blows snow off the roof into your paint. I'm going to try to get that wheel out here and get it reprimed, a very low thin coat of prime on it, and boy, I'll feel real happy about that. It's quite a lot of work digging that out. I'm glad I got that done. It's going to give me some choices today. Try to take advantage of this day. Now we have a couple of things in our favor. First off, it's very cold, so the heat is on constantly. So what I'm going to be able to do is get a coat of primer on this, I hope, before that weather changes. I'm real happy with the wheel match. That color really is very, very close. And I'm going to try to do this thing that Dallas suggested. This is a front disc, this is a rear disc, this is way heavier. So I don't know, we're going to try to install this on the final wheel. I don't know if that's going to be exactly what we want, but it is a couple of pounds lighter. It's thinner, in fact. It's the thickness of it that's different. So I'm sure the calipers will just move in just a little bit more. But that was something from Dallas, and I didn't know that. But the wheel, as I look at it, I just got to get some prep ball, prep it down, and get out there before that weather changes. Because this weather changes in a minute, and more snow is coming. Now, because we have this pretty well smoothed out and all our edges radiused, what's going to happen is I just want to have the slightest coat of primer that'll just cover those raw aluminum edges. And it seems like if the temperature holds out today, this will have to dry about an hour up by a heating vent. I'll get the spray gun ready and I can put the base coat of that orange stripe on. So it'll be a wonderful thing if I can get that done during this gap in the snow. Now the final thing is I gotta have to tack rag a little bit of this down just to get the last of a little bit of the dust out of this part, and we'll be ready to paint. I think that's gonna be really good. And luckily we have plenty of self-etching primer in stock now, since we almost ran out a couple of days ago. Hey, you would think it would be pretty easy. This of course isn't fast forward again. To do a wheel, well, this is a relatively complicated thing because I don't want to get too much paint on areas that I don't want, and I want maybe a little bit extra on any of the parts like the casting floor, but around the edge of the rim I want it to be minimized. So it's a little bit trickier than it looks, and this is how it goes in fast forward. Now I'm just spinning it. I'll sit out here for a couple of minutes, babysit it. I'm going to bring it down and put it under a heating vent. It's going to have to sit there for at least an hour, but while it's doing that, I can have my coffee. I wanted to get this done before I even had coffee this morning, because what's going to happen, this has to kind of bake, and I'm afraid the wind is going to start blowing. Now, if this dries up exactly the way I expect, I'll be able to set up the gun for the red, orange stripe, and get the base stripe done, and get that downstairs drying overnight, and that'll be a giant step for mankind. Now I'm giving this the full once over from both sides before I bring it downstairs to sit under the heating vent for an hour. But here's the whole thing. If I find a spot that I can still see the casting on, I think you can see I think we got rid of 99% of the casting marks. When that's done, that's going to look like a machined wheel. And it's a really good tip. While you're waiting for any paint to dry, just babysit it, spin the wheel. That minimizes the chance you're going to get a run somewhere, because the run doesn't know which way to go now. So it just pretty much, it gets dizzy and falls asleep. I don't know. But anyway, that does work. And I'll sit out here another 5 minutes and then bring it down to the heating vent. I think that was really successful. And considering the conditions, this is frozen in time. If you haven't seen that movie on YouTube, Dial Up Frozen in Time, Daryl Greenmeyer rescuing a B-29, it's quite a movie. It'll make you feel warm and fuzzy inside at the end. Alright, I'm looking really carefully as I'm babysitting it. There's no part of this that looks like it needs any more sanding. I think we did a good job the other day. But anyway, I do want to have that there's no flaws in it, because the next step is I've got to load up the gun with the orange-red paint and just paint this area here, just that band, so I'll be able to lay that 1/8 inch tape in. And then I want to do is I want to let that red paint, of course, has to dry overnight. Nothing is better than early in the morning like this. You know something is downstairs drying, and that coffee tastes even better. I'm not sure the birds agree in this snow. I wonder where they find food when I don't feed them. Well, they don't have to because I always feed them. Look at these poor guys. You wonder how they survive. Unbelievable. Andy, how do you like this snow, Andy? He was rolling around in it before. That was pretty cool.
He's been walking for like 45 minutes.
Wow. Pretty cool living in Alaska, huh? And the taxes are so cheap. Shake, shake, Sonora. Well, it's fun working out in the snow, isn't it? Ask Wendy. Now I want to thank Karen for helping me get this color as close as we have it. I'm trying to picture it may take 2 coats to cover that prime. I don't know yet. But the whole idea is to just get a band of paint here. I don't need to get it. It's only going to be an 1/8 inch stripe, and do it with, I guess we're going to need 2 coats, but I want it to be that exact color. And before I move on to the next step, I'll take this wheel outside and hold it up by the tank, because if I still want to fine tune it, I think we're going to have it right. I think that's going to be fine. Now back and fast forward here, and you can pretty much get the idea. I want to get just around the rim is important, but I want to have it that it's a nice bright orange. I want it to match that decal on the tank. 2 coats. Now it's definitely going to take more than 1 coat to cover because we're going over a dark color here. If we had used the gray primer, non-self-etching, probably would have covered in 1 coat, but it's not a problem. We're going to give it 2 coats. Now, of course, the second side here and fast forward, I wanted to get them both having 1 coat and give it some time to dry between coats so we don't get any runs. Yeah, we're definitely going to need 2 coats. That is a nice bright orange, but of course we're going over a dark color. Now this, if we were going over a lighter color, yeah, but who cares? That's one of the reasons I mixed up enough paint when I did this, so I could do, if I needed 2 coats, and don't forget I got to do another wheel. I will have plenty of paint. Now during the second coat it really started to brighten up. This of course is in fast forward. And that second coat, it gave me exact match to the Suzuki decals. Yeah, 2 coats are going to do it. I'll get the coat on the other side. And I want to get that down in the cellar where that'll sit under a heating vent for 24 hours. And the 2 coats worked out just about as well as I could have ever expected. All right, time to get that down inside, and it's already clouding up. And the wind is already starting to blow. We really stole this day. You can see the furnace, the smoke coming out of the furnace there. This will dry up 24 hours. Well, this was really good use of a day, and as I'm ending this video, it's getting cloudier and they're predicting snow. So anyway, I did get a really good look at this before I brought it in. I think it's very, very close. I know this is very close, so I don't want to take it out there. It's so slippery out there, I'm afraid I'm going to drop it. Anyway, thank you, Karen, for that help, and thank you, Dallas, for your input on these brakes. I don't know if we're going to be able to, well, we're going to try it and see how it plays out. I did not know, again, this is a lot, it's thicker. And boy, you put 1 in each hand and it's like, you could tell this is heavier. Now, I don't know why they did that. There may be a reason. I don't know. Again, Suzuki is usually a little bit smarter than me. A little bit anyway. But anyway, we can always try it, and we can always go back to the discs we have. We have plenty of discs, that's for sure. So before I end the video, I want to thank the healthcare workers, guys. Thank you so much. And the wheel is coming out just better than I could have ever imagined, given the fact that we're in battlefront conditions here. And the castings, if you see this up close, I know you can't, for all purposes, that looks like a machined wheel now. And it was a lot of work. I hope there's some good information. I try not to leave out steps, but I'm not perfect, that's for sure. But I want to thank the healthcare workers. Holy mackerel. Imagine in this storm we had, how many people stayed at the hospital overnight, did all their things. The medical profession, all those people, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to continue our 2 basic projects here. I don't want to take a chance. It is clouding up out there and get any contamination in Joe's fairing. That fairing is going to be a piece of artwork when I'm done with it. The wheel, if I screw it up out there or some snow got on it, I can sand it down. But we want to, Joe's stuff, I want to really be like a pepperoni pizza. Good way to put it. Anyway, again, thanks for watching. And most of all, if you have a passion for these older motorcycles, keep them alive, keep them running, keep them polished, keep them from being rust buckets, whatever floats your boat. And thanks again so much for watching. Now, before I end the video, I always like to include a couple of pictures from our lengthy album of old memories of the A-Team. Now, and because we're going to be working to get the decal on Joe's part, I thought, well, I looked up decals on my library of pictures, and it's Glenn, and this was a day we worked on. I believe this was Luciano's Ducati, but I'm not sure. I don't really recall, because I know that he had an issue and we repainted some parts of it, and we had to get the decals, and Glenn and Mark Morgan were a lot better than I am at putting these decals on and putting their water slide, and there was some tricks to doing it with Windex and pressing them down and heating them, and I'm going to have to review some of those old videos before we do Joe's decal, or maybe Joe's going to have to figure it out. Maybe we'll make Joe come over here and put the decals on, and then that'll be a good video. But this is the problem, is a lot of people are good at, this is why we have the A-Team. Certain people are good at certain things. I like to paint. That's the thing I do best. Sand, grind, paint. Glenn and his decals, and Mark Morgan, they're a little bit better at putting his decals on than I am. But that's what made the A-Team special, and what made all of these memories special, and all of the things that we enjoyed together, the track days we did, the rides we went on, the projects we worked on, and sometimes we worked on them in the middle of the summer when we could have been riding. In fact, we did that a lot of times. And Glenn got to be a master of buffing, and to his credit, and I'm sure a master of painting. He made that great little scooter for his daughter. But sharing the information, I always tried as one of my goals to share what I do know, and that's basically mostly about painting and buffing. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.